man. Ooh, it's like wearing my helmet. They're like, oh, I gotta land the helicopter. Whoa, wait a second. Hold on. Oh. Hey, little shaky right there. Hey, Instagram, it's me, T, from the Pattersons, taking the train to the bed. I have to get myself in order, you know. Like, this is it's a Grand Rising report. And we're in blue light. So shout out to Blue Light Brigade. Top of the day to you. I was going to say an Irish kind of saying, but I'm not going to do it. But, let me explain something. Okay, I'm talking to Blue Light Brigade. Everybody else don't make like you're not hearing, okay, like that. I got to talk to Blue Light Brigade is my troops. It's not my troops. It's the troops. There you go. Blue Light Brigade is the troops. Well, then you should ask yourself, how can I be a part? I like the troops that don't have no leader. That's something I'd be interested in. Well, there you go. All you have to be a part of the troops is to be up in blue light. And up in blue light means you have to do a little exercise, and you do exercise. I'm exercising my mouth right now. I don't want to get away. You got to do real exercise like that. The blue light is when the dawn hits, and then in 20 minutes after the dawn hits is blue light. And then there's 10 minutes before the sunrise, and that 10 minutes is, the blue light's between the dawn and that 20 minutes there. And then that 10 minutes, the Blue Light Brigade, let's just give you information on Blue Light Brigade. What we do in that 10 minutes after, because we've exercised, even if we exercise our mouth. I like that one. I just came up with that one. That's really good. Every time I talk to Blue Light Brigade now, because usually I walk to the beach sometimes. I always do some stretching when I wake up because I sleep on it doesn't matter. But then I say, well, I exercise. But now I'm realizing, hey, I have to exercise my mouth because the Bell's palsy is clearing up, but I still got this muscle problem here. So I'm leaving next week. So for the next thing, I got to really work this so I can articulate much better, because now I look like one of the newscasters been broadcasting for years. You know how they always talk out the side of their mouth because you can't assault the microphone directly. I know they got microphones now that accommodate that. Yeah. But the classic one, you talk what we call through the mic pattern. You don't talk into the focal part of the mic pattern, because then you have those pops under the P's and all that stuff. So you talk the sound waves talk through. Turn this around. Talk through the mic pad. So usually you talk a little bit. So and of course human nature, you sort of move your mouth towards that for just kind of such a psychological thing. Well, I don't have that. I didn't have that problem until I had the Bell's palsy. Now I got to work my muscles so I can get this back. So I don't know. We'll work it out. Let me tell you, Blue Light Brigade. Okay. I'm going to come clean right now because we're about to leave. I just finished the course album for this week. Let's say it's called the first draft. I've been working, and so I'll still work on it for the next day before I post it up. So I'll keep on looking. He did that. So it's now on here, like that, on a parchment, and I already put it in the book, right? And of course, it's on the phone's up here. It's on the mobile device to go to the internet, so I can do a little spell check, and so that'll be ready. Everything's on schedule, which is why this is what I'm trying to explain to you. Here's the thing: you all may not understand this. Well, I guess you would understand it. See, everything I do is I shouldn't say this. Everything I do is intentional, right? So, for instance, when I started with the hammer, putting the cap on, right, that was intentional because I never had. Well, I've done other things, but that was intentional. Of course, I could know that. You see what I'm saying? It's just to start the thing. Then I had the whole thing when I start where I discovered the audience. You know what I mean? That is a convention, is a thing that's because everybody has their little thing. We had that guy, the hip hop guy, who starts with that. I don't, So everybody got their little thing. Okay, so that's my little thing, and of course the name thing, blah blah blah, right? But also here's the problem. Here's the thing. See, I've done community radio for a very long time, and when I got my signature program, or as the folio said, there's a picture I published it. I didn't realize it said this in the folio. It says Anthony Sloan. It says something like famous for no more radio, like that. I never said that. These headline writers, they wrote that. You know what I mean? but do my fame, my normal radio fame thing. Well, people don't understand about normal radio, or like anything. This is why these people who have these not weekly programs. That was a weekly program. Where these people have daily programs and stuff like that, they really aren't that smart because no, don't get me wrong. People like some people like they do read, you know what I mean. But there's no way if you have so many interviews all the time. Well, I guess there's some people, rare per person who can read whatever book, whatever. Then you don't have any time to prepare. You see. So when I had normal radio, for instance, as soon as I finished a normal radio, as soon as it ended, my brain, even before my brain is thinking about the next one, I'm putting together things for next. I mean, my brain is doing this, and then I start looking. Got to read a book, whatever. I'm doing all that stuff. It takes, and literally, a week is still not enough time. So when folks come up and you see this person that you like and you think they're all that smart, well, that's why they got producers talking in their ear. You know what I mean? Because there's no way you can absorb that much information that quickly and have a daily program 5 days a week. That's why the daily program. The daily show is pretty smart. The 4 days a week was much better. But the point is, it takes them then the prep time. It's just too much. You know what I mean? And I got into this groove of like, as soon as I finish the normal radio, I'm thinking about the next thing, other things that happen in my life, but I'm thinking about the next thing, and it starts to obsess me to when I get closer to the normal radio. A normal radio came on a Wednesday, so when it's done, I'm building all weekend long, and finally I get a little break, say on Sunday, whatever it is, and then I really start going in heavy, making sure guests, whatever I have going is going, and it takes a lot of energy. It really does. People don't understand what it takes to do, especially if you're the producer, personality, whatever it is. If you're a one-person show, it takes a lot. But after a while, for a long time, so I've been doing community radio since 1972, and this is 2025. You do the math. So, but after all these years, it's weird. You build up this whole thing of knowing it's not that you take shortcuts, but you know what to avoid, and you get better at it. Just like the reason why this consalva is kind of interesting, because consalvas I necessarily make them dense pack. I call it dense pack. This is a form of writing I used to do when I was arts director, and I did memos. Even before I was reading the memo, my memos were dense pack. That meaning that you get a memo from me, and you go like, I think I'll read this a little bit later. Because you have to decipher. So the consalva form, the 49-word poem, with 7 lines to the poem, 7 words to a line, and 7 letters, and no word more than 7 letters, is a perfect thing for me to dense pack. So it's in the poetry form. I'll explain this probably on Sunday when I do it. So the poetry form to me is like perfect for my proclivities, whatever. So what's happening is that usually I make it very, very dense. And this last one I'm going to do, this is for my Johnnies. This last one I'm going to do in this series meaning that for the last few months, I've been doing a consalva a week. And I usually don't do that because I usually do them for special occasions or funerals or passings, I should say, homecomings, if you will. But this one, since they've been going and I've been going so like that, I've mastered a certain way of doing these things, and so this one I try to make clearer than all the other ones, less dense packed, but still the stories behind like each word, because I'm trained as a playwright, so each word is there for a reason. If you take out the word and change the word, it changes the meaning of the entire thing. You see? Anyway, going off on that. My point is this, right? Is that so even the set right now I'm speaking to you, my set thing there is wisdom now. I'm trying to give you some wisdom. See how that works? And if I move the set over this way, like I might be talking I have my American passport because I'm an American African. That's more political, you see, like that. Let me put it back here, the wisdom now, since I'm giving you some, let me talk streets. I'm giving you some game, The ancient man giving you some, he said, the ancient man, yeah, that's right, I'm not old school, I'm ancient school. When you hear it from me, it's ancient. comes through. The portal is an ancient porthole. It ain't no old porthole. It ain't no modern porthole. I'm coming to you through an ancient porthole. See how you come to the, and so what I'm saying is it's weird. So everything I do, it's like even if I'm not planning it, I'm planning it, and I take some notes, but I'm noting in my head all the time. I'm talking to myself all the time, which is why in Oroville it works better, because I don't have a lot of distractions. I don't have to communicate with people that have, because it's just me here in my healing room, and I go someplace here, and so it really works out well for me to be in an Oroville, which is why I guess I like Oroville. So for these past few months, and this is the second year I've been doing this, then this is like really, it's a wonderful thing for me. Anyway, there's a thing going to happen where and because we're Oroville right now, we're 9.5 hours ahead of the states, the east coast of the states, and we're 3.5 hours ahead of, say, Africa, right? So what's happening in Africa right now? There's going to be, see, even this, look. Put this down a little bit. I'm wearing my strong T-shirt. That's planned. I don't know if it's planned or not. But I'm saying, when I look at it, I say, oh, that's interesting. So sometimes things are serendipitous. Oh, the brother used a big word. He probably don't know what it means. But sometimes things happen the way they happen. And then I see it later, and I go like, oh, that was interesting. But the reason I have strong here, because there's going to be, this is so interesting. I'm an acolyte of Mr. Neely Fuller Jr. Basically, acolyte, the brother used another big word. This cat is there. We got to stay away from him. He says boycotting don't make no sense, but boycotting is not effective these days. So you don't really boycott. And because of the way things have evolved, at least since I know, since my days of really, I protest a lot. Since actually started in the 70s when they started, you got to tell us where you're going with your march, whatever, where they can control you and pen you. Since that, so demonstrations, you can get, I want to use this word, you can get sniped, by the authorities. When I say they have you got your plan, and then they counsel your plan before you hatch your plan, which makes it whatever. But this thing that's happening with Captain Ibrahim Taroré from Burkina Faso, who I call my commander-in-chief, Commander Ibrahim is what I call him. It's amazing, because it's not, you can call it a demonstration, okay. You can call it a march, okay. You can call it, it's not a boycott. Well, if you're not working, I guess it's a boycott. But what it really is finally people, it's weird. It's like, I'm in India right now. I won't be out, it's be hot in the middle of the day, but if I ran into something like that with supporting Captain Ibrahim, I would join it right then, This is going to be amazing. And the thing is, it's African, and they're not depending on the world, but the world is coming to the thing too. There have been marches, I understand, all week long, but this is the march that Africa called. So all through Africa march, this is the gathering. Let's call it a gathering. All the people who are saying all these years that the powers that be who have been, killing our leaders, who have been stifling our movement. Well, we got a cat right now, a Commander Ibrahim right now. If you put a hand over it, we're going to show you how many people are going to come after you. Now they might have a counter saying, well, yeah, that's what we want. We got all these weapons we got to test out, so let them come after us. Yeah, we want this stuff. Come on, bring it. But how are you going to bring it when it's a peaceful? How are you going to bring it when it's a? So this is going to be interesting. What happens today, the 30th of April? Whoa, this is going to be quite interesting. So I'm going to pay attention. Blue Light Brigade, you should pay attention to. So that's all. I'm just saying this is a special day. If you can in any way, lend the tide, the support to Commander Ibrahim. And it's not just him. People don't really understand this. It's about the Sahel states up there, because there's three of them. The three, what I call the brown beret, the red beret, and the green beret. Those three cats, and things happen. That's why it's so effective. Things happen in three. So they try to put a spot. That's the other thing. They're trying to put a spotlight on the commander only, because if that's what they do. They try to isolate. They try to identify things so they can make this quick. Let's cut this head off and stop this movement. No, we have to now start saying, no, we got even. Look, he doing his thing like that, but it's a three bludgeon. I call it tip of the sphere, not the spear, tip of the sphere, like a bludgeon. That's what I call it. So it's important that all three, that the Sahel say, and they're leading the way, that it happens that way. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.